So you're ready to get into a dual band system.
But you probably aren't sure exactly what to get.
It's confusing and you're probably wrestling between which helmet setup is going to serve you the best.
Countless hours in the field, navigating, pursuing, and evading game have led us up to this point.
This commitment and expansion of our knowledge has set in motion our ability to curate exceptional units and assemblies that are purpose-built to make you more capable in the darkness.
From budget to bank busting, we now have an efficient and painless way to get you into a dual band system.
We're excited to introduce to you 2 exceptional packages that are now available on our website.
Dual band and fusion systems are the way of the future, and the future is here now.
In front of me, we have 2 options, 2 very different setups that we cultivated to achieve really the same thing, but they are very different, and the units included in each package are going to offer you different features depending on your end goal. The one thing I want to say at the very beginning of this video, all information can be found on our website. Specs, details, pricing, and all of that can change over time. So please reference our site for the most accurate information possible. Also, sometimes I say dumb shit and I make mistakes. The specs on the site will take precedence over whatever I say here, but I'll try to be as precise as possible. One last thing to note, I will keep the specs to a beginner level as much as possible. This video is not about understanding all the minute differences between units. Rather, it is about getting you into the right dual band package fast, getting you the info you need now so you can get into the darkness as fast as possible. Let's dive into it, shall we? Starting off on the budget package, what I have shown here is a Hardhead Veterans bump helmet, a PG25 night vision monocular, and a STINGIR 384, all mounted to a Mod Armory bridge and a Naruto slow stow helmet mount. Users can also choose the G24 mount or a Photonis mount for the setup on our website if they prefer those mounts. Our objective with this particular package is to create what is arguably the lightest weight dual band helmet mounted setup that we have ever handled, while being able to save you a ton of money at the same time. Frankly, this is a combination that nobody is talking about. This combination is easily thousands of dollars less than the NOX18 and a PVS-14 that I'll talk about later, while still affording good performance in the darkness. In fact, it is basically the least expensive way to get into a dual band system that is still capable. This setup might not be for everyone, but it is something everyone should learn about and consider. Starting out with the PG25, this is a very tiny analog night vision monocular. The PG25 is about half of the overall size of a PVS-14, and it is extremely lightweight as well. The PG25 features an included dovetail mount, a single control function, and it has on, off, and illumination settings. The housing is a sort of cast aluminum, and it does feel like a very high quality unit while still maintaining that lightweight form factor. The PG25 weighs in at a minor 8.6 ounces. And the PG25's biggest downside is the fact that it ships with no specifications, and the specifications of this particular intensifier tube will not be as high as a custom-built PVS-14 in most cases. It is also manufactured in China. In the interest of keeping the budget dual system as budget-friendly as possible, we coupled the PG25 with the STINGIR 384. The STINGIR 384 is a very lightweight unit that brings the thermal capability to this combination. Having a quality thermal on tap is what gives users the ability and luxury to care less about the intensifier tube that they are running in their night vision unit and lean more on the thermal unit for fast positive identification. The STINGIR 384 is a 384 by 288 12 micron sensor that is extremely comparable to the iRay ML19. The STINGIR 384 weighs weighs in at under 7 ounces, which means this entire dual band system weighs within 1/2 of an ounce approximately to the Photonis Viper binos. It's crazy, I know. The STINGIR 384 can be used as a handheld, helmet mounted, or even can be used as a clip-on thermal scope for your weapons that are lighter calibers with a maximum caliber rating of 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO. It's important to keep that designation in mind and not run this unit on larger bore rifles. It does all of this though at an amazing price point. And in years past, we stayed away from the 384 core resolution thermal units, but the latest generation of thermal tech is impressive to say the least. And the STINGIR 384 does all of this at an amazing price point. It might be tempting to ignore a unit like the STINGIR 384, but we recommend that you don't. It is a unit that we trust. It's one that we think is worth considering. The STINGIR 384 is also manufactured in China. Assembled completely as shown, the PG25 and the STINGIR 384 together mounted on the Mod Armory bridge weigh in approximately at 20 ounces. In case you didn't realize, that is crazy light. A big component of this setup is the fact that we use the Hardhead Veteran helmet. This helmet is extremely light and substantially lighter than my Team Wendy bump helmet, which further reduces the overall weight of this entire setup. And I think that the best way to summarize this budget package is just simply saying it is the lightest weight dual band system that we offer with a 384 thermal core unit coupled with a mid-range performance monocular. This isn't the most potent system that we offer, but it is the lowest cost and the biggest bang for your buck as you enter into the world of dual band systems. And this is by far the lightest weight and least expensive unit that we have ever offered as a dual band system. And it's for that reason that I think it will be perfect for so many of you. Moving on to another package that we offer, it's time to discuss some US manufactured products. We recognize that many of you want to support US companies and US manufacturing. We also fall into this category. The unfortunate reality is that most high-end thermal is produced overseas, and most of that will come from China. There aren't many high-performance options made here in the United States, but the NOX18 is one of the units that stands out as a solid, no-nonsense, US-made thermal monocular. The PVS-14s that we offer are also built right here in Pennsylvania. So think of this option as a high-performance, US manufactured dual band system. If you find yourself not very interested in this budget dual band system, the one I'm about to talk about might be the better option for you. The Elite helmet setup consists of an Envision NOX18 thermal monocular, a PVS-14 built up with a Photonis or Elbit white phosphor tube and a Mod Armory bridge. The Team Wendy bump helmet and the G24 helmet mount are what I have shown here on this particular package. However, you could also purchase a Neurotis low stow mount or a Photonis mount off of our website if you would prefer something other than the G24, or if the G24 option is currently sold out or unavailable. This is a prime example of building a quality setup that utilizes products that are manufactured right here in the US. The PVS-14, NOX18, and Mod Armory bridge together weigh in at approximately 34 ounces, which is obviously quite a bit heavier than this budget dual band setup. I discussed that previously, that this weighs 20 ounces. So what this does have in weight, it makes up for in performance. Starting with the NOX18, this is a US manufactured thermal unit that offers performance very similar to the RH25 from IRA. The NOX18 utilizes a 640 by 480 BAE thermal core that is a 12 micron sensor and a 60 hertz refresh rate. Full specifications of this unit can be found on our website if you are interested in the NOX18. The NOX18 has been a favorite of ours due to the performance and the fact that it is made right here in the United States. Folks online have voiced concerns of Chinese manufactured thermal and night vision units, especially those with GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth functions, and whether or not those are actually secure for us Americans to use. And if that's something that concerns you, then the NOX18 and this package might be the move for you. One major difference between the NOX18 and frankly, most other thermal units is the fact that the NOX18 has no internal shutter. So recalibrating this unit requires you to cover the lens with your hand and manually choose to recalibrate the unit by pressing a button. And in this package, we coupled this NOX18 with a standard run-of-the-mill PVS-14 single battery housing that can be built out with either a Photonis white phosphor or Elbit tube. You won't go wrong with either option, and frankly, we wouldn't put something on our website that would make us hesitate to recommend it to you. We would be happy to descend into the darkness with this setup with either a Photonis or an Elbit tube. Both have proven to be extremely capable. For this package, I have the units mounted on a G24 mount. However, you could also purchase that with a Losto or Photonis, as I stated earlier. We're utilizing a Mod Armory bridge again, but this time we utilize a Team Wendy bump helmet. The Team Wendy bump helmet, for me personally, is my favorite helmet. The lockup and comfort and the strap adjustability is frankly second to none. This is a premium US manufactured bump helmet that is built for serious use. Compared to the budget package, this elite package does come in at a weight of almost 14 ounces more. And when we're helmet mounting units, those ounces equal pounds. The lighter weight your setup is, the longer you can operate it in the darkness. But sometimes you need added capabilities, and those added capabilities will make up for that increase in the weight. But ultimately, that's a decision that you have to make on your own. Budget doesn't mean low performance. That is something that I want to make abundantly clear as I discuss this budget dual band setup in detail. We pride ourselves in offering gear that we actually use and trust. It's for that reason that you can rest assured knowing that if it is on our website, we run it and we find it suitable for you. So let's talk about the strengths of this budget dual band loadout. The first thing that I want to start talking about is the PG25. And the PG25 should be looked at as arguably the least expensive way to get into night vision in a monocular form. The PG25 is not going to have the specs of, say, an Elbit or Photonis white phosphor tube. But what we found with this particular unit is that even though it might not have the specs on paper that you might see with some of the other offerings we have on our website, this unit is still extremely capable, and there still is a ton of clarity available inside of this unit. This is especially true as you start to couple it with supplemental infrared, and when you do that, this becomes an even more potent unit. Now, the PG25 does not have as high quality of glass or as clear glass as a PVS-14, and there is a little bit of distortion around the edges just simply due to the tiny form factor of this unit. However, we did not find that that affected the overall performance in a negative way. The unit's amazing. The housing is amazing. It's some sort of a cast aluminum that gives this rugged, durable feel, something that you feel like you could throw it on your helmet and bang it into stuff without necessarily worrying about immediately breaking it, but it still is extremely lightweight. So we're not building up bulk with this housing, and we're also not driving the cost to an incredibly high rate. The other thing that I wanted to point out about the PG25 is the fact that the onboard IR illumination is insane. I've never had an onboard IR illuminator that actually could be used for more than just reading a map or a piece of paper, but this is the exception. Another amazing detail about the PG25 is the fact that this low profile dovetail mount is included with the unit. That's right, this is not an accessory that you have to purchase separately. This is something that comes with this particular unit. But the biggest downside that people are gonna see, and it might be a stumbling block for some people, is the fact that this unit will not come with a specification sheet. But one little detail surrounding that, you can find the minimum specifications that you will ever see in these units listed on our website. At this point, I'm hoping that it's extremely obvious why we chose the PG25 to include on this budget dual band system. And now I want to talk a little bit about the STINGIR 384. And I know right now you're probably saying, hold on, Jared, we heard you for years saying, don't use a 384 core thermal. And technically we didn't say not to use it, but we did say that previous models years past just didn't stack up against a 640 by 480 or 640 by 512 core resolution thermal optic. However, the new technology that is coming out with these 384 units is absolutely incredible. So what you're getting in the STINGIR 384 is an extremely clear and crisp image in an awesome lightweight package. And when I say lightweight, this thing is absurdly lightweight. When you hold it, your mind is immediately blown. And when you couple the fact that this is not just a helmet mountable unit, this is something that can be handheld, or you can even mount this onto a lighter caliber rifle like an AR-15 chambered in .223 or 5.56 NATO. So you start to really see that for the price point of this particular unit, you are getting an insane amount of value for your money. And the other thing that I love about the STINGIR 384 is the fact that this is so easy to use, operate, go through the menus, change all the settings. It is a seamless integration into this budget dual band system. So talking about the helmet that we chose for this particular setup to show on camera here, this is a Hardhead Veterans bump helmet. And there's some things that I love about this helmet, and there's some things that I don't necessarily love about it. But what I do love about it is this helmet is absurdly lightweight. So when we're comparing it to a Team Wendy bump, this helmet will feel light years lighter than that Team Wendy. Now you might say that that comes with some sacrifices of quality, and I would kind of push back on that a little bit. I will say that the Team Wendy helmet is going to be a higher quality option, but it comes at the cost of a more expensive helmet, and it has more weight. So again, a lower cost, lighter, more breathable helmet, but the downsides here are the fact that it probably isn't quite the quality of Team Wendy, and the fact that this helmet is not made in the US could be a downside to some of you. So in this particular unit, I have a Neurotis low stow helmet mount, but there are many options on our website. I would encourage you guys, as you're looking for your particular dual band setup, consider all of the options that we have on our site, because we only put up quality helmet mounts. So if you see that the Neurotis is out of stock, maybe look for a G24, or if both of those are out of stock and we're waiting for the next shipment, you could always consider the Photonis breakaway mount as well. That is another option that is on our website. But again, I just want to encourage you all by saying, the stuff that we have on our site is quality. It's going to get you out and perform the way that you want. We're talking about the bridge on these units. We have the same bridge attached to both the budget option and the more elite setup. This is a Mod Armory bridge, and this setup has been our go-to setup to combine dual band systems. And when we say dual band systems, we're talking a thermal monocular coupled with some sort of a night vision monocular like the PG25 or a PVS-14. The beauty of the Mod Armory bridge with a standard mil-spec dovetail is the fact that you can switch the thermal and the night vision monocular to either side. So whatever you're trying to accomplish, you are going to be able to set your helmet up for success. You can rest assured that the Mod Armory bridge is going to offer the adjustability and the durability and that quality that you are looking to achieve. And because of the immense availability of this Mod Armory bridge, the fact that we're always able to keep them on hand and get them out to you very quickly, it is the reason why we have focused in on the Mod Armory bridge over other competitors on the market, because ultimately we know we need to be able to get this gear into your hands quickly. So sort of wrapping up this budget helmet package. This budget helmet package is about getting you into a dual band system that allows you to detect immediately in the darkness. It's coupled with a high quality thermal and that PG25, and all of that used together is going to allow you to process data in a way that you just simply could not do with either night vision or thermal alone. The units complement themselves very well, and if you need even more performance out of your dual band system in the budget category, you can also purchase the STINGIR in the 640 core version by simply selecting that option on our webpage. And that even further increases the thermal capabilities of this setup. The biggest downsides of this particular setup is the fact that PG25, as I already discussed, does not have as good glass quality as a PVS-14. And the PG25 doesn't have as potent of an intensifier tube inside the unit. One other downside of this entire setup is the fact that the STINGIR, the PG25, and this Hardhead Veterans helmet are just not US manufactured products. So if you are looking for a strictly US manufactured product, this might not be the setup for you. And although I recognize that this is not the unit for everybody, this is arguably the best entry into the dual band world of night vision and thermal. I'm so excited about the budget setup because I know that there has been a barrier of entry for so many people for so many years. All of these YouTube videos where we talked about these dual band systems, we had so much pushback because people knew that to get an elite style system like the NOX18 and a PVS-14, people were spending $8,000 to $10,000 plus for these units, and it just wasn't realistic for so many different people out there. But what we've done when we curated this budget option is we broke down that barrier. We created a very inexpensive option, comparatively speaking, to a more elite setup, but we're still maintaining the capabilities of a quality thermal and night vision unit. So you're still going to be capable as you descend out into the darkness. So whether you're purchasing this budget unit or you decide to go for a more expensive US manufactured unit like this NOX18 or PVS-14, you're going to find that you're going to have the capabilities that you need in the darkness.
I love the budget dual band system, and I could function with it 100%. I personally dreamed this combination up as I discovered the individual units on the market currently. I then collected and built this combination specifically to bring it to the table to show you all. If these two systems were both on the table in front of me, I would grab the American manufactured system, simply because of the added clarity that it brings. Clarity is very important to me. I have a very vivid memory of every hunting experience I've ever been in. And the clarity of the optic at night directly drives the memories that I retain in my mind of each hunting experience. So having that highest level of clarity available is an added bonus every single time I think about the situations I've been in the past. Please don't let my desire for clarity fool you. Just because I desire the clarity, don't mean that I would require it to get the job done killing coyotes or being effective in the darkness. It is definitely arguable that the added clarity brought to you by this American-based manufactured system would help you be more effective in the darkness. While this is true if you only have night vision or if you only have thermal, I would say the clarity is much less important when you combine the two superpowers together. When you have the ability to cross-reference between the two spectrums, it greatly enhances the data that you have about each and every situation that you will find yourself in. With this combination of data, even if it's not the clearest options on the market, it will definitely allow you to execute any mission. I'd like to do a little bit deeper dive on this American manufactured system. While I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about the PVS-14, specifically because we have loads of content surrounding them out there in the wild already. What I would like to touch on is how nice it is that the NOX18 and the PVS-14 both use PVS-14 eyepieces. Because they both have the same glass in front of your eye, these two units are like two peas in a pod. The NOX18 is simple. It does not have internal recording, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. No phone connectivity, nothing. If you truly want to claim that you're going dark, the NOX18 is definitely the thermal for you. While some of you may think that truly going dark is extremely important, there also are some of you that I've talked to personally that are steering clear of the NOX18 because you want all of those connectivity features. Something I would like to point out is that even though the NOX18 may be missing a few key luxury features, it's still more than enough to get the job done. And if you're desperate to get recording through the NOX18 unit, there are many DVRs on the market that would allow you to gather videos using the NOX18. You simply need to turn on the video out feature and plug in the mini DVR of your choice and send it. While complaining about these missing features and then immediately jumping to the Chinese product because technically, yes, they do have more features and nicer features, you're quite literally shooting yourself in the foot. What these US-based companies need is us to be buying their products to give them the revenue they need to take a unit like the NOX18 back through research and development, because I know that that process is expensive. While having more of these units in the wild will also help Envision gather more feedback for when they ever do decide to refine and enhance the NOX18's abilities. Something that's worth noting with the NOX18 is exactly where we have the battery housing positioned with the unit now. Before the video, we took the time to pop the ADM QD mount off the bottom of the NOX18 and take the dovetail off the top of the NOX18 and put it on the bottom. What this does is it flips the battery housing from being towards the center and pushing the PVS-14 and the NOX18 too far apart for your interpupillary distance. And it flips it so that you can pull the two units close enough together to be able to see through them successfully. If you do want to run the NOX18 over your left eye, you're definitely going to have to do this exact same mod that we did out of the box. Out of the box it comes with the QD mount fastened to the bottom and the dovetail on top. If you do want to run the NOX18 over your right eye, you wouldn't have to necessarily remove the ADM QD mount off the bottom and move the dovetail to the bottom of the unit. You could let this fasten to the bottom and you could run the NOX18 over your right eye and the PVS-14 over your left eye. What this would enable you to do is to turn on the reticle in the unit, zero the unit, and have the ability to pop the unit out of the dovetail on your helmet and clip it to a gun and take a shot. That's not something I recommend to everybody, but if it is something that you want to do, it is an option when you leave both the dovetail and the ADM QD mount on the NOX18 at the same time. What I typically recommend, if funds allow it, is to buy a dedicated weapons mounted thermal for your weapon and dedicate a thermal to your helmet. One last thing that you may notice on both of these systems is that they are both running the 18650 battery extender. To me, if your time in the woods doesn't require the extended runtime of the 18650 battery, you're not spending enough time in the woods. While both helmets will get you into the darkness in different ways, the most important thing is for you to get out and get trained.
Cut! That was pretty good, Ethan. I really like what you did at the end there. The only little bit of information that I would have for you is maybe tell the customers where they can find our gear, like arcane.com. Tell them to subscribe and like our videos, share with some friends. You know, the normal stuff. Grab a t-shirt off our site, but otherwise, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Did you get all that?
Good job.
Do it.